So thank you so much for joining us here at Lovely Being You. You know, God has this way of teaching. People will be praying and they'll be saying, God, help me. Please send someone to help me. Send someone to do this or that, or please give me a sign. And God will send an individual, excuse me, this person will be unlikely someone that you would even suspect who will come to help. This guy, he had prayed with his girlfriend, and she didn't realize that she saw great things that this guy could do. So she stayed beside him, not realizing that everything that he does affects her because she is with him. So a guy comes up to him and says, you see that girl over there, that lady? She is wrong. She did this, she did that, she did whatever. He believed it. He said, but I'm going to pay you, give you this money to take her ID. And the guy's like, well, how the heck am I going to do that? He said, well, you know, that lady over there, she's homeless right now. So she doesn't have any friends. So it'll be easy because she's tired. And if you can get her to trust you, she'll fall asleep and you can get it then. And exactly what he said happened. But see, here's the thing. God sent that woman into that neighborhood. And although they thought they were setting the woman up, God was setting the two of them up. You see, that guy that he hired was about to get a blessing. And his girlfriend and him were going to be set. But this was a test for him. So he took this little money from this guy with a promise that once we destroy this lady, you're going to get even more. He told the story to this guy and other people in the neighborhood. So everyone thought that they had outsmarted this lady. He even hired a woman to be this woman's friend. And every time this woman talked to the lady, she said, hey, friend, this is what's going on. Invited the woman for New Year's, dinner, all sorts of things. Was trying to poison the woman, trying to set the woman up. No one knew that God was setting up this trap. And he was checkmating. Notice I took a pause when I said that. Because when you checkmate a person on a chessboard, you win. People sometimes get themselves caught up in different things and don't realize that you prayed to God and you thought that you wanted God to do this and that for you. But what did you do in order to get that gift that you were asking for? You're asking for money. You're asking for this. And if a mother does this to a person, knowing that she has children, when those children begin to suffer, it's because the mother even made a bad choice. The sins of the mother, the sins of the father. When you have people who are counting on you, who might need you, and you think you're doing these people a great favor, those people who are connected to you have to suffer too, because this is God's lesson. This is God's teaching. Now, of course, God might not want anyone to suffer. But the lesson that you learn through the suffering will cause you to make better choices later. No one plants a seed and doesn't give the plant or the seed water. You give that plant, you give that seed water so that it can grow, so that it can persevere. Like mankind is supposed to persevere. We are supposed to grow. We're supposed to learn from our mistakes. We're supposed to grow. So when someone decides to plant the seed in your head that you're going to gain money, or you're going to gain this or that, you're going to gain a house if you only do this for me, You got to realize, like Michael Jordan, when he was making those hoops, and they said, we're going to pay you this amount of money to gain this. Or we're going to pay you this kind of money to do this commercial. We're going to pay you this kind of money for sneakers. Michael Jordan thought bigger than that. He said, if you're going to give me this amount of money for that, how much money are they going to gain? And he sat and meditated over it. And then he renegotiated for more money. Or he didn't negotiate until he thought about it so that he could gain that money. We don't always think very well when we are having someone give us something, or someone is tootling something in front of your eyes. A horse, you can jingle those carrots in front of it, or that apple, and the horse will move based upon you giving them that. But the horse, after all, is an animal. Although it might be a spiritual creature, it might not think as far or as extensive as a human being should. We don't always give good thought to certain things. A man sitting behind me on the bus, negotiating outside with his so-called friend and lover to come and set a woman up on the bus. He's saying different things in his head while he touches her on the back, calling himself, trying to make her feel good and give her a compliment. But what he doesn't realize is God is with her, and she's laughing because she knows that God is setting this man up while the man thinks he's setting her up by telling her, wow, I hadn't seen you in a long time, and you're looking good, and whatever compliment he's giving her. You don't realize that God is setting the tone, and he has great steps ahead of the plan that you think you are implementing. Be mindful of the people that you connect with. Okay, you thought that this guy who thought he knew something and made up stories about this woman was smart. Or you thought that this guy really knew something because his story sounded good. Or you thought you were going to gain money because you listened to the story that he came up in his head with. You got to think, if he's coming up with this story and he's giving you money, what does he tend to gain from the situation? Okay, he tells you that he's stealing from the woman, he's going to get money. He's telling you whatever it is that he's telling you. You got to realize that God stepped in and knew the plan way before you even got here. You think you're so smart, but the smartest person in the end is God. A lot of people don't believe in God. A lot of people don't trust in God. So with the choices that you make, if you're helping to plan against another individual, you ought to pray again. Not think again, pray again, so that you get the wisdom that you need, so that you will not be out here trying to strategize and work against a person who you don't even know. The plan is in place. Are you ready? Thank you so much for joining us. So lovely being you. Let God be the lead in your heart and in your plans.